So I'm first, apparently. I've been on this team for 4 years, and after every hard workout and after every miserably cold practice, we ask ourselves, why do we do this sport? Why do we put ourselves through this? We do all this for the relationships and the memories we take away. It's relationships that make this team a family. From the early mornings and seeing the parents set up the tents, to the whole team getting uni tan lines, or even accidentally hitting your friend in the head. These are all the things I'll remember. These are the relationships that you can't get anywhere else. And with that, I want to thank all the parent volunteers, the chaperones, my parents that have been to 78 regattas, all my coaches through the years, and of course my teammates. This is truly a family, and I want to thank you for letting me be part of it.
So first I'd like to thank the coaches and the parents for the countless hours that they've put into the crew team so that we can row. Without you guys, we wouldn't be able to make this like teamwork. Over the past 4 years, I've had so many great memories. The one that I'd like to share with you tonight is the Junior 4 that I got to take to Nationals last year with Dylan, Phil, Daniel, and Thomas. Since the other guys who qualified the boat with me at Midwest rode the Junior 8, the lineup had to be completely overhauled. We knew that we stood no chance and in the qualifiers, so we just made it a fun boat. But it was one of the best races I've ever had, since our entire boat was on the same page of, yeah, we're screwed. We're just gonna go for the sweet Nationals tees. We got to have a chance to talk with all the other teams, and we had so much fun interacting with all the competitors that drove from all over the country to see us. It's crazy how fast these 4 years have gone. It feels like just yesterday I was joining this team without really knowing what rowing was. You guys are like family to me. I'll miss you all. Row Bears.
So we're not doing alphabetical order, which I guess is good, because honestly I don't know who would have been next. I'd have to think about that. That's too hard. To be honest, I've thought about what I wanted to say for my senior speech 1,000 times since I was a freshman. I never really knew. To be honest, if I could, I would take literally everything I've ever learned about rowing, even though there's not very much of it, put it into a syringe, and personally inject every member of the boys team with it. But I can't do that. And I don't want to take up all of your time trying to list everything. So I guess I'm just going to summarize things like this. When I realized I was about to graduate, in like half a school year, I started thinking about, it made me think about what really matters to me in this sport. And I realized really that was the team. Because the fact of the matter is, I mean, yeah, I wanted to make myself faster, but I really wanted to make the team faster. Hence the syringe thing. And I mean, every race that I rode and every practice, at least since sophomore year, yes, it was partially for me, the medals were nice, but it was largely for them. You know, I guess I'm going to ask them to do something for me now. I want you guys to kill it next year.
I want to start off by thanking my parents for supporting me through crew. It's not a cheap sport, we all know that, and it requires a lot of precious time and effort from them, but they've always been there for me. And I want to thank the other parents next for putting all the work they've put in, making us food, setting up tents, tearing down tents, overall making the regattas run smoothly. Especially Mr. Johnson, who I know has been out there in the water, taking out the buoy lines at 2 in the morning after already working the whole day. on multiple occasions and making sure all of our boats are properly prepared over winter. And next, I would like to thank the coaches for all the time that they put in, giving up their weekends every other day, 4 to 7. Lastly, I want to thank the team for making these past 4 years in Crew amazing. My favorite thing about this team is on Fridays, seeing everybody in their polos, and you can say hi to anyone in their polo because that's how close we all are, and it's amazing. And being a part of this team has taught me so much, not just about being part of a team, but leadership and how to interact with people. Well, thank you.
First and most importantly, I want to thank my parents and my brother for helping me through these past 4 years. They have had to put up with my crazy schedule and making me overflowing plates of food every day after practice. And I know that can be really hard. I'd also like to thank Coach Tedesco, Coach Bella, and Coach Wimmer for all that they do for the team. You are great coaches and great people. This past year has been by far my favorite year in rowing. And last but not least, I want to thank the team. You guys are all my family. I'm going to miss you guys a lot next year. I think one of the most important things that I've learned in rowing is hard work goes a long way. One important concept that I have followed for a very long time is that the best things come when you work hard for them. It shouldn't be easy. You're going to want to quit so many times in rowing, but as one person out of 7 other rowers, you make one team. And as we all know, the crew that rows together will make it the furthest. Being with each other every single day has really brought us all so close together, and it makes it even harder standing here and think that next year will be different. Even though this may be hard, this is a day to celebrate. All that hard work has put us, all that hard work put in has brought us to this point, and next year will bring even more memorable experiences that will stay with us forever.
First of all, I'm going to start out by saying that I'm not normally be standing up here willingly in front of all of you. Honestly, I would probably be somewhere in the back of the auditorium, nervously shaking or crying. I'm not a public speaker, but I think that being able to stand up here, at least semi-calm, says a lot about the team and my level of comfort with them. We've all seen each other through our absolute worst. When we spent hours at regatta so cold that the 20 layers we're wearing makes us look like marshmallows. Or when at the end of the day, we're all so burnt and tired, we look and smell absolutely dead. Being able to stand here and speak up in front of all of you really goes to show how close I feel with everyone here. Just the other day, my mom was telling me about how excited I was, novice year, to come back home from the first tri-week of rowing, and how cool I thought it was to be on a boat and actually get to row. I was impressed and proud of all the new blisters I got, and embarrassingly and obsessively watched rowing fail videos on repeat. Obviously, I didn't hit the winter 2K stage yet. However, after hearing my mom, I realized that yes, I still think it's neat that our practice field is the river. But as the seasons go on, I realize that it's the people that have kept me coming back year after year. There were many times I thought about what it would be like to just take one season off, or maybe to not come back at all. But each time the idea crossed my mind, I suddenly got terrified of what it would be like to not see each and every girl every day after school. I know that when I leave here, it won't be the last time I see all these smiling faces. I'm sorry, ladies, but you won't be able to get rid of me that easily. So thank you, Mom and Dad, for forcing me to try pro and having tons of food waiting for me every day after practice for the past 4 years. Thank you to all my supportive coaches for being there for me through all my ups and downs and all the many times some kind of boat catastrophe happened to me. And the biggest thank you to all the people I've met through this experience and all the lifelong friends I've made. I will never be able to repay you guys for the great experiences you gave me. And to quote my favorite rower ever, we rode bears. Okay, I just want to start by saying how thankful I am for this team and for the unique opportunity to have such a strong group of girls push me every day to be the best I can be. I don't think I'll ever find another team as great as these rowers. The freshmen are full of potential and have already accomplished so much. You are all an extremely fun group, and I can't wait to see you transform throughout the next couple of years as rowers and as people. The sophomores, along with the freshmen, are a fun-loving group with a ton of heart. Although you girls are extremely competitive, you're genuinely out to have a good time with anyone on the team during practice and regattas. Next to the juniors, you're some of the hardest working girls I think I'll ever have the opportunity to be with. Every day, you all brought something new to practice, and I'm sure we'll do an excellent job leading this team as seniors next year. I can't wait to see all of your many successes, and I have enjoyed the 3 years spent with you. As for the seniors, I have learned so much from you. I don't have words to express how happy I am to have gone through everything we have and grown to who we are today because of it. Maggie, you're my stroke. Starting the first year in freshman 8, you had stroke seat leading us all at a 36 rating at nationals.
and have throughout the years stroked almost all of my boats in that position, up until this last weekend. I became most comfortable following you and knowing you were fully capable of leading the boat. Kate, you were always there to talk. Everyone can contest to the fact that Kate's favorite question is, so how's life? And you were someone I knew I could always go to. You would listen to any complaints with open ears and a quick response, and I want to thank you for all of the advice you've sent my way. Rachel, you're my coxswain. You never failed to impress me with your unwavering knowledge and passion for coxing, as well as informing us on other teams we'd be competing against. You knew whether or not we should be worried going into a race, and I'd say you were right about 99.9% of the time. The other 0.1% were teams we'd never raced before. Sophie, I'm beyond happy you decided to join crew this past winter because you have been someone who, no matter the circumstances, was always able to bring a smile to my face. You are hilarious, and as a senior, did an amazing job leading the novices. Madison, you were my sidekick and chauffeur. You drove me everywhere and still do, whether it be to and from practice or regattas or anywhere. You were always there for me, and I will be forever grateful for the amount of gas you have wasted on taking me home. When Paige joined last fall, I'm not going to lie, I was a little intimidated. I soon came to realize there was a reason behind this intimidation. Paige, you are one of the most determined and caring people on this team, and I can't wait to watch you continue to succeed in rowing throughout college. Finally, Edison, you are my second mom. You always made sure to check in on me and help me with literally anything I needed, and I'm grateful for the fact that I knew you always had my back no matter how annoyed you were with me. I want to thank everyone who dedicates their time to making sure UA Crew can be as successful as possible, and my parents for being there for me every step of the way. Finally, thank you, Amanda, for being at the start and finish of our rowing careers, as well as Rice for shaping us as members of the varsity team. Thank you to all of the other coaches for making sure that throughout the years we were the best team we could be.
Many of you might not recognize me because I joined the last season of senior year. And you might ask, why would you join the sport the last season of senior year? And I would say, because I didn't want to do track. And Paige and Griffin influenced me to do it. I was nervous at first, a senior being on the novice team, but I do not regret it one bit. Everyone made me feel welcome and like I deserved my spot in the boat just like everyone else did. This sport was way harder than I could have ever imagined. I do believe I hit my peak my first couple weeks Irving though, because I never PR'd after my first 2K. I would like to thank my mom for helping me cope with the fact that I got out in senior tag at 5 a.m. when we were walking out to the car before she dropped me off at the buses. I want to thank my dad for letting me participate in this crazy sport. I want to thank Griffin and Paige for always having my back and letting me complain about my one season of novice year while they both stroked the V8. Thank you, Maggie Heitzman, for always finding Comfort Colors t-shirts with me and being a great friend and lifting buddy. And of course, my novices, Maggie, Rachel, Dora, and Maddie. I always enjoyed our rides to the river before the last minute. Can you take this text? You guys made me feel like a freshman again, and I can't wait to see what you'll do next. I want to thank Annie and the coaching staff for having faith in me when throwing me in stroke seat for our first race, the Novice 8. I want to thank Mr. and Mrs. Bertram for being my second parents. Not only did they know when Griffin was racing, but they always knew when my races were too. Except for at Midwest when our lightweight Ford got first. They missed that. Finally, thank you to all the volunteers and chaperones for putting in extra hours of work and helping these crazy kids. I want everyone to know you can never join something too late and to always wear a rain jacket if you're not stroking.
As I reflect on the past 4 years, I am overwhelmed with gratitude. Rowing has taught me in ways that no other sport could. However, I owe a wonderful experience, not to the sport, but to the people that it is made up of. I would like to thank the board for all the organization, management, and stability they provide for our team. I would like to thank all the parent volunteers who devote their time to make sure the team is always taken care of. I would like to thank the coaches for their immense dedication and passion for making us better every day. I must thank my family for everything they have done for me, from driving many miles to see me race to dealing with a worn-out, hungry kid every day. They always have my back. Lastly, I must thank my truly incredible teammates. They have pushed me to work harder than I ever thought I could. They have been there through some of the worst times of my life and some of the absolute best. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you to everyone who's been a part of an amazing experience.
So I've been involved in a lot of different things throughout high school. I've been in choir, I've been on the debate team, I was in computer science club, but definitely crew has taught me the most lessons out of all my classes and everything I was involved in combined. You guys, everybody in this room, whether you're a parent, a volunteer, a rower, or a coach, you never fail to amaze me on how smart and how passionate all of you guys are. I'm just gonna go down and thank a lot of people that I really feel like need to be thanked. Most are repeats. Starting off with the parents, after setting up those tents at juniors last weekend, and it took us, the entire team, like 45 minutes to set up 3 tents. I don't know how you guys do it every single weekend, and how you manage to take care of all of us, and chaperones especially. I have so much respect for you guys, and I really want to thank you for always pushing your kids and always pushing everybody else on the team to get better. I'm actually lucky enough I have spent equal time with both the girls team and the boys team throughout high school, and because I'm a coxswain, and I really want to thank the boys alumni. Most of them graduated when I first joined the team. A lot of the senior boys can attest to that. I got made fun of a lot when I first joined, and it really thickened my skin, and I really liked the friends that I made with the boys team, on the boys team, and with the girls team. You guys never fail to amaze me with your hardworking skills, and you never fail to brighten my day and make me smile and laugh. I'd really like to thank Coach Schwartz, even though he isn't here. He was the boys varsity head coach my sophomore year. And he really made me fall in love with the sport and its competitiveness. And then going on to thank Coach Dormer for my junior year, he taught me a lot of lessons throughout rowing, and really got down to the nitty-gritty and the physics of the sport. I also really want to thank Coach Rice and Coach Amanda for giving me the opportunity to come back to the girls team for my senior year. It has really meant the world to me to be given a place on the team. And for all the other coaches, Tedesco especially, I don't think you understand how much you helped my coxing skills. That one year you coached learn to row, that really means a lot to me. And thank you to everybody who didn't give up on me. I know I can be very frustrating at times. I don't blame you for getting frustrated with me. You guys all mean the world to me, and I'll never forget this sport, so thank you.
All right. I'd like to start off with some thank yous to all of the amazing people who make this team what it is. Thank you to all the parents, chaperones, and the board who put so much work into making everything possible. We couldn't do it without you, so thank you. I'd also like to thank my family for being there for me when I need support. And I'd especially like to thank my dad for making me join this sport in the first place. He's always pushing me to do my best, encouraging me to take risks, and has taught me so much about becoming a better person in general. I'd like to thank my team for giving me such a warm welcome when I joined last year. You guys are all like my sisters now, and I hope I have left an impression on you, on each of you, as you have done to me. Lastly, I'd like to thank our coaches, the past ones and the present. You have all taught me something different and helped me grow as an athlete and a rower. Crew is an amazing sport, and UA Crew harbors an awesome program. I know that this is true because I came onto this team as a junior, and within that time, was able to win a total of 23 medals and drop 40 seconds on my 2K. I'm not here to give any of you a lecture, but being on this team has taught me so much. I know that there are times when you don't feel like your hard work is paying off, or times when you're frustrated and angry. But I promise that if you keep your head up and your mind focused on your goals, it will all be worth it in the end.
Okay, I didn't get the memo we were doing shorter speeches this year, so I wrote a long one, sorry. Yesterday was my last day of high school, and much to my surprise, I didn't really feel anything when it ended. No overwhelming sense of joy, nostalgia, relief, or sadness. As we stood outside for the final countdown, I really just couldn't be bothered. Now, if we go back to the day before that, that was my last day of crew. As soon as my senior 4 put down the boat after our last race as Upper Arlington rowers, we all couldn't help but start to cry. It didn't even matter that we didn't win or anything, because all we could feel was the loss of a family we've grown to know and love these past 4 years. If we go back to launching for that race, in every stroke, I felt the pull of every practice, erg piece, and race up to this moment. I still feel that pull from every season from my senior, junior, sophomore, and freshman years. And looking at my peers from each grade, I have some parting thoughts for all of you. Seniors, I love each and every one of you, and I'm so proud of how far we've all come since we started.
Even though many of us started at different times and places in our lives, there isn't a group of girls I'd rather share the stage with tonight. Juniors, good luck next year and finish strong. I know all of you will be great leaders for the team next year. Sophomores, it's been a joy getting to know you on varsity this year, and I can't wait to see how much you'll grow the next 2 years to come. Finally, freshmen, all of you should definitely come back next year because varsity life is thug life. Also, if you haven't bought a good raincoat and a 7/16 wrench, you should get on that by next year. This team really is a unique place. Where else could we have a team that can bond over Rubik's Cubes, Sudoku puzzles, singing trashy pop songs, and riddles? This community is what I'll miss the most in the years to come. And that community includes every coach who taught us how to row, every parent who lets their kids participate in this crazy sport, mine included, and the sea of alumni rowers I'll soon be joining. Special shout out to my parents for letting me do an expensive sport that essentially abducted their daughter for 4 years and supporting me all the way through it. They say pain is temporary and medals are forever, but for me, the thing that will last the longest are the memories of this team, good and bad. In the words of my favorite rower, we rowed bears, but this team has become so much more than just rowing to me. I think the real reason I didn't feel the same loss at the end of high school compared to the end of crew is because I know that the hole in my education will be filled in a couple of months in college, but I truly doubt I'll be able to find another wonderful group of people to call my team ever again. Thanks.
Okay, I know I'm the last one and it's exam week, so I'll be quick. First of all, I need to thank my parents for everything they've done for me in the past 4 years and while I'm at it my entire life. They've always been there to help and support me, whether it's driving me to no man's land at 5 a.m. or watching races in the freezing cold. I could not have done this without them. Secondly, I would like to thank all the parent volunteers and board members. You make everything we do possible, from having the right equipment to hotel rooms at regattas. You are the backbone of this program, and I don't know how we'd survive without you. We greatly appreciate everything you do for this team. I would also like to thank my range of coaches over the past 4 years. I would not be half the rower I am today with any other team of people coaching me. Additionally, I would be amiss without thanking Coach Rice. He supported me in every aspect of my life, even beyond rowing, and I can say with full confidence that I would not be up here if it weren't for him. There's so much I will miss, from bus rides to regattas to the stand-up drill and the to die for banana bread. I'll even miss all the silly things I would complain about every day. I'll miss all the people on this team. I've made some of my best friends through crew, but I won't get too sad about that because I know the bonds I've made with them will last forever. I'm so looking forward to everything ahead of me. Still, UA crew has been such an important part of high school, and I've made memories I'll take with me wherever I go. Row Bears.
Sports. He was my coach, my colleague, my friend, and almost everything I learned about crew, I learned from that guy. So, big thank you to Chris. The sport of crew, and I think so many of the rowers put it pretty elegantly, it doesn't happen with an individual, it happens with a group, a big group that includes the rowers and a huge supporting cast. So my success, I define in the short term with really, really great racing. But I always try to let the team know that crew is about something bigger. And that was perfectly echoed in the seniors' words here tonight. Stepping away is hard when you're fully invested, when you're part of a family. And what made it doable for me was knowing that I would still get to see the rowers every day at school and still be a part of, a more distant part, but a part of their success. And the way that the coaches and the rowers stepped up in transition is phenomenal. So thank you to Coach Wimmer for helping that happen. Amanda, thank you for helping that happen. I'm excited about the direction of the program. I got to sit in on the interviews and be a part of that process. The girls' team is in good hands with our current coaches who are returning and with Leah. I'm really excited to see the next steps. Just remember to take care of each other. Remember to make it about the team, and enjoy the ride. It goes fast. Thank you. Thank you.
Insinuates big problems if you bring a hammer to a racing shell. So, and then I know my daughter Kylie thought I was going to get up here and dance because she has her dance recitals on this stage. So I'm not sure, I'm not feeling the room right now if they want a dance move or not, so I'm going to refrain. No, she's not coming up, so I won't do it. All right. We went past that.
Oh, yeah.
All right, I know this is a little late. I think we've covered a lot of territory. I think it was great hearing from the seniors what they got out of the sport. Usually when we sit in here and we talk to you guys in the beginning of the season, we do our meet the team, and we talk to you guys about how great of a program this is and what we're able to accomplish. And it all just sounds like this big sales pitch. It sounds like I want to spray the perimeter of your house for insects. You know, you're just like, I don't know what the line is here. I don't get what you're trying to say. And we talk about how much time is invested and how much work goes into this. And then you hear from these seniors who put 4 years in at this, and these are survivors. I mean, their class is bigger than 5 guys. You know, these are the guys that came through this program and said, you know, I know there are going to be ups and I know there are going to be downs. I know there are going to be tough days. Maybe some easy days, I don't know. There may be some easy days in there. But what I think they've gotten in this overall is what they've really come to embrace is this idea that this hard work and perseverance really does have value to it. Pushing yourself to find that envelope and finding what you're capable of, finding that ability to find people with common interests and desires and pairing up and making a commitment to one another and placing that trust that you have in your success into somebody else's hands and what that means. I think there's so much that they gain out of this that it was good for me to hear that. It was good for me to hear that getting echoed out of this about the relationships being so important to them over the 4 years that they've been here. Regardless of the performance stuff, and I came up here and I have, you know, pages of performance stuff I was going to talk to you about, but I guess in hindsight it's kind of not, that was a joke. But these guys, I think what we really realize is how important this is and what this community actually means for them moving forward. And a quick note to the seniors, I want you guys to know, despite everything you've accomplished while you've been here, this is only the beginning for you. Your best accomplishments, your greatest things that happen in your life are still ahead of you. I encourage you guys all to make those smart choices and keep your senses open to that next experience. It's going to take you in a great direction. So, a few thanks. I have a lot of people to thank. I know I'm going to miss this, but these last 2 years, my first 2 years coming back and working with the boys team have been pretty phenomenal. It seems like this group of guys that we have, and especially I'm thinking of this group sitting down here in the corner, coming back for next year, but this group is one of the hardest working groups of kids I've ever worked with. We have not had to push them or coerce them into doing the work. We've just really had to show them the way. We just have to map. We just have shown them the map. We've shown them the direction to go, and they've taken the initiative to want to succeed. Having done that these last couple of years, you know, this past year, I think some of the milestones that we achieved with these guys, you know, the team top to bottom, I think this year is one of the strongest I can ever remember for the boys. For first, second, third, eights, junior eight, we had some fours even that, you know, our junior 4 won at Midwest Scholastics, but we had all these boats in the grand final at Midwest Scholastics competing for a chance at the medals. And so many of those events came down to the narrowest of margins. And when I think about that, it makes me proud to have that, and makes me proud to know that these guys are coming back next year for our 25th anniversary, and I think we're going to be ready to make a statement. And I credit the seniors for embracing that direction and embracing those performance goals. And I'm looking forward to our returning cast coming back next year and continuing to work and continuing to build on the success that we've seen. As far as my thanks, I guess first, I don't know if he's still here or not, but Tony Pusateri in the athletic director's office. I know I saw him early, along with Principal Theato. But I know they were both here. We've had a lot of support from the school this year, and I'm very grateful for that. The support from the trustees and the board. I know they have been very aggressive in making sure that we have what we need to be successful and making sure that we're not looking for things and trying to figure stuff out. A big thanks, I know it was mentioned already, Alex Johnson. I think Alex Johnson wanted the title of the Prince of Thankless Jobs. He basically took most of the jobs that most everybody else was smart enough to stay away from, and he took them on with a great attitude and a very high skill level. So thanks a lot, Alex, in particular. Alex headed up a team over the winter, and unfortunately I don't have all those names off the top of my head, but he headed up a team and probably did, I would bet, over probably $10,000 to $15,000 worth of repair work. So instead of us sending that out, he headed up the team to get that all done in-house, which was valuable because we had all those shells to use this spring. Big thanks to Kevin. I know working with him this year as the president, he's been fantastic. Scott taking over on the equipment. I know our regatta director, Amy's been doing an awesome job making sure that everything's planned out and that everything's ready to go when the team arrives at the buses. Brady and Jen for all of your work doing all of the chaperoning, making sure that all the cats are herded in the right direction and making sure they're all accounted for. Maggie at the food tent, feeding an army. Feeding an army is not easy. There's a lot of different walks out there, but I think they managed to nail it on any given day. And the fact that we had the quantity and the amount and everything, it's been great. Jeremy and Rick Kelly, I know I saw Jeremy here earlier, but the Kellys have been incredible about making sure that some of my last-minute punch list things were getting taken care of. Our trailer got taken care of this season, which wasn't me running around trying to get it taken care of. Totally appreciate that. Also the help transporting the truck and the boat trailer when I was unavailable. I'd also like to thank my family. I know I've missed some soccer games this spring, missed some other things. I know they always wonder why I have to go to stupid rowing. So I appreciate them letting me have the opportunity to get away. I appreciate that. All in all, next year is our 25th anniversary. With the way this team is going and this current group of guys, I'm very excited to get to Camden this weekend. I think we're going to tear it up. I think it's going to be an incredible weekend for UA crew, both on the boys and the girls sides. I think next year also, looking at the girls and the guys, I think for us, I think it's a very plausible goal next year with this group of kids to try to go on our 25th anniversary to win a points trophy at Midwest Scholastics. So I want the guys to know that that's my direction, making sure that we're carrying our weight in that direction. I know the girls will do awesome, they'll continue to do awesome. But I think we can have a team that rivals the likes of a New Trier or a Cincinnati Juniors. And I think we definitely have what it takes in this room to get there. So I'm looking forward to you guys. I think the 25th anniversary is going to be big in more ways than one. So I'm very excited about that. As far as summer goes, parents, just up the calories. Just feed them, feed them, feed them, feed them. Let them grow. If they seem like they're getting a little out of shape, I'll take care of that starting in August. We just want to make sure that they have that, just hitting the weights, making sure you guys are growing, getting stronger as much as we can. And then when we come back in the fall, guys, we start a new cycle. We get a new big senior class, and I'm really excited to get that started. So thanks, guys, for a great year. Seniors, thanks for a great career with UA Crew. You guys are always family here, so whenever you guys want to come back, the door's always open, all right? Thanks.
Hello. My first few years as a novice coach, I always used to sit down there and think, I hope I never have to stand up here and do this. But here I am, and it was amazing, so thank you. I will start out with a bunch of thank yous as well. First off, I definitely want to thank Alex Johnson and Scott Powell, kind of echoing what Andy said, but new to this role, I'm good at teaching kids to handle equipment very carefully. When it breaks, they don't know what to do. So they took care of a lot of things for me, and it was very much appreciated. Same to all my assistant coaches for answering all my questions and taking care of all my concerns, and particularly to Richard, because I know there's a lot of times where there's tons of people ask me questions, and I just say, go ask Richard, and it gets fixed and taken care of. So thank you for putting up with that. I really appreciate it. Going on from that, I want to thank Brady and Jen for being awesome chaperones, taking care of all of us so well at regattas, and putting up with all of my antics and last-minute requests and when I get confused. So thank you. And same thing to Amy Skidmore. Thank you for everything you've done with the regatta planning, and thank you again every time you step in and help chaperone. Very much appreciated. I also want to thank John Meller for keeping the launches up and running all season. Again, I live in fear of getting stranded in the middle of the river in my launch, and it did not happen once this season. So thank you for that. Keeps practices running really smoothly, keeps me much less stressed. So thank you. I guess general remarks on the team. I'd like to go class by class, starting with the novices and the freshmen. Great job this season. I'm so impressed by all the hard work you've put in. I know I won't be a coach anymore, but I will follow the team, and I can't wait to see what all of you guys do on varsity. For my sophomore class, I say it over and over again. I know sophomore year can be one of the most challenging years on the team. You go from being part of this small novice group, and you make that transition to varsity where you're with a much bigger group of people. You guys stepped up in a big way this year, grew a lot. Every time you had an opportunity to race, I was so impressed by all the improvements, all the effort, all the changes I'm seeing, and I know next year is going to be a really big year for you guys, so keep up the hard work. For the current juniors and rising seniors, you impress me every day with your hard work and dedication. I think that as a team, we're very lucky to have you as a rising senior class, and I know that all of you are going to do a great job leading the team to great things next year. And then for the current seniors, an overall thank you to you guys before I get into my remarks. These were the first people I ever coached, and a good number of them are still here, so that's exciting. They're kind of the guinea pigs. And I'll say I'm happy that so many of you guys are still here and love the sport and have so many great things to say about it. As a coach, I think that's one of the biggest things. Like Coach Rice was saying, beyond that, bigger than winning in those specific moments is just building a love of the sport, and I think you guys truly have done that. And being the first people I coached, I think you guys are the reason I love coaching so much, and why I keep coming back year after year. So it's been really great to get to go on this journey with you and see you from freshmen to seniors. And it's weird to be up here, but I'm really excited that I get to be the one to go through these awards. And finally, before I forget, another big thank you to Coach Rice, because again, a lot of questions, things I don't understand, and he was a huge help and a big support all season. So that's it with general remarks. Would you like me to go into the awards? Okay. All right, so going through the senior awards, I'm going to start with Edison. Edison has always been, she always impresses me with her good nature and hardworking attitude, her ability to work through, I know she battled some injuries freshman and sophomore year, her hard work and positive attitude, also her adaptability. Edison will row in any seat, she'll do anything you tell her to do, and with an amazing attitude. should have warned them most of my stories are embarrassing stories from when they were freshmen, so this is what they're going to get. You know, Edison's novice year, they were in the Black Pearl, and there was a seat that always fell off the boat during every race, and Edison and her pair partner, mid-race, would stop, put the seat back on very calmly, start rowing again by all eights, to the point where it would happen, we didn't even know it was happening. And it's a funny story, but I think it just really speaks to Edison's overall good nature, hardworking attitude, deal with these little setbacks here and there, and to really push through and keep a positive attitude about it. So good job, and I'm sure you're going to be off to great things at college next year. Next is Felicity. Felicity joined Crew her winter of her novice year, and I say this in the best way possible, that when Felicity first joined, she got right to work and looked so good, I didn't even notice she was new. It took me a few days. She blended right in. Felicity always impresses me with her amazing work ethic, positive attitude, approachability, somebody I can always count on, and always has that great balance of putting the team first. Another funny anecdote, sorry Felicity, is when Felicity was a novice, I know, she used to get really seasick stroking fours. It was the whole like looking out of the boat, there's nothing in front of you, everything's moving, but every time I asked her to do it, she did it, and she did an amazing job because she didn't want to let down her teammates and she wanted to do what was best for her team. I think that truly speaks to Felicity's character and hardworking nature. So. All right, next is Maggie. So Maggie, you probably don't remember this, and I'll tell this story because it's going someplace, but I remember first when Maggie joined the team, she wanted to be a coxswain for a little bit, but she had a lovely rowing stroke, and you were like, you're not gonna cox. Again, you probably don't remember this, and I really don't want to embarrass you, but I do remember you missed your first 5K test, and she was doing a makeup test, and you did stop a few times to get a drink of water during the 5K. And I'll always remember this, because I remember sitting there and doing the test, and I was just kind of like, all right, this is fine, like, we're learning. And then by the end of that fall season, something just started clicking, and the hard work started going in through the winter, and by spring, there's Maggie stroking the freshman and no longer taking water breaks during her 2K and 5K tests. So that was a huge and exciting improvement to see, and again, Maggie is just one of the kindest, most approachable people. Whenever there's a novice coxswain and somebody used to fill in, I'm always like, Maggie will tell you, you know, great stroke seat, she'll mentor you. You have this great zen, positive attitude in the boat. I know I can always count on you on the water and off the water. So, and I'm looking forward to these next few weeks as we get ready for Florida. Good job. All right, next I'll do Madison. So Madison, right from day one, first day on the team, just struck me as this tiny little hard worker. Always mousy, really great job, always had the most positive and upbeat attitude to everything. I know you maybe had some ups and downs your freshman year, and I think for me, one of the most exciting things to see for Madison was sophomore year when she got to go to youth nationals. I know that was kind of a last minute lineup, and I think that speaks to Madison's character. You can put her in any boat, any seat, and she gives everything 110%, and the outcome is amazing. So for me, that was a super proud moment to see that happen for you. And I will say Madison is my fellow fanny pack lover, and she never makes me feel like a nerd for wearing my fanny pack at regattas. So thank you, Madison. Next is Paige. I sometimes forget that Paige has only been on the team for 2 years. I think she's been here the whole time. Paige, from day one, when she walked onto the team, I know it's not easy being a junior walking onto a novice class, novice team with a bunch of freshmen, and she stood out from day one as the leader. That novice group, the sophomores, it was a bigger group, and it was so great to have almost a little unofficial novice captain to count on. That was a huge help as a coach, and it just really impressed me to see you step up as a leader every day then. It's amazing how much you've immersed yourself in the program and the culture over the last 2 years, the improvements you've made, the successes you've had. Truly amazing. Again, your leadership and your dedication to this team impresses me every day, and I can't wait to see what you do in college. All right, next is Kate. Kate, to me, I think is one of the hardest working people I know, and I think has more heart for this sport than almost anybody. I know you've had some ups and downs with injuries over the years, and just watching you improve since novice year, the way you faced that adversity and continue to be a positive and really strong contributor to the team has been so impressive. And I really appreciate that. Beyond that, just making yourself involved in every little component of the team, Kate is a hero when it comes to the regatta box. Lots of times worry about things being missing, and I know Kate has everything covered and taken care of. And so that, just that hard-working effort in every aspect of the team, whether it's the racing and the rowing and taking care of everything off the water, been a huge contributor to the team. I'm really excited to see what you're going to do in college. All right, next is Rachel. So it was very exciting to get Rachel back this season with my original novices, so very exciting. I remember Rachel's first day of practice. Rachel knew what a coxswain was, so that was pretty much qualified for the job, and it just half the battle is explaining the job to people, and from day one, I was immediately impressed. You have a great natural leadership ability, tremendous natural talent as a coxswain, and I know you put so much work and dedication and learning into that process. Even as a novice, you were just asking the right questions. I could tell you're taking so much time to learn about the sport and technique, and that's what makes a really great coxswain. Also, I could always trust you with the boats, trust you to execute the race plan, the practice, take care of everybody safely, and that was huge. Make my job easy as a coach, and I have coxswains who can get all that stuff done. So thank you so much, and it was so nice to have you back this season, and I'm looking forward to continuing with you in Florida. And then Sophie. I didn't get to work with Sophie too much directly, but I will say thank you so much for joining as your senior year. As a senior, I know it's kind of hard to jump right in there, and you did. You were a huge leader on the novice team, and I'm very impressed just by the improvements and the hard work you put in all season, and congratulations on a great Midwest medaling. And I'm really happy you got to join us for this season, and I wish you'd been here maybe sooner.
I just want to add my 2 cents about the senior class here. It's a phenomenal group. From day one, the work ethic, the attitude, every single one of them has a story with tremendous ups and downs, and where they've ended up is amazing to me. I always told each senior class that they set the culture of the program and they determine how successful the season will be. And the successes of this season, I think, are a credit to the seniors as much as anyone. And I want to thank you for the role you filled in transition. I want to thank you for the way you stepped up. And this is a lesson to everyone here that no matter where you seat, what boat, There's something you can always control in this sport. It's the attitude you bring, it's the way you respond as a teammate, and it's the way you help with the culture of the program. So, seniors, thank you. I appreciate it.
And just while you guys can, just while they're actually coming back up, I realized I forgot to acknowledge my coaches. So, as they're walking up. The coaches this year have been, it's been great. Just so you guys, I don't know how many know Bella, because I don't know how much she talks to everybody, but Bella comes to us and she brought a lot of knowledge and expertise in the sport, and shared that, was able to share that enthusiastically with the team. And most of you probably do know Catherine on the other hand, because she is very outward and wanting to engage with, especially a lot of the parents, and taking on a lot of those roles. So I appreciate both of you guys, because you definitely contributed to making this season everything it could be. So I just wanted to say that to you. I realized as I sat down. So anyway, as far as the seniors, our first senior, we'll just stick to alphabetical, but Griffin Burcham. Griffin, I obviously just a couple of years into this, so I didn't know Griffin as a freshman, but I imagine he stood out as a freshman. Did you stand out as a freshman performer? No. Griffin, kind of since I've been here, I mean, Griffin has established himself as a high performer. Griffin embodies a lot of the things that I like to see in rowers. He's fiercely competitive, he's extremely athletic, and then at the end of the day, he'd make you believe that he didn't care about any of it. So, which is all a great big lie, because I know in his heart he cares about it, and I know he's a fierce competitor. So, I'm looking forward to getting you to nationals this week and see what you can do with these guys. Every class has its clown. Ours is Joe Colasante. Joe, I think, you can come over, it's all right. I think that, unfortunately, the memories that's going to stick in my head is Joe's wardrobe choices for washing equipment. But Joe knows how to get laughter almost out of every situation, whether it's warranted or not, whether it's appropriate or not. You know, he's another one, I think, fiercely competitive. He wouldn't let you believe that. If you talk to him, he would try to pretend like he was sort of, yeah, no, whatever, man. But I know he is, and I wish I was able to harness those moments when he would jump on the erg and decide that he was the fastest person by a lot. If I could harness that in a bottle and keep that with you all the time, and then maybe the Simon injections, I could give it to him once in a while. I think that would have helped a lot. But I appreciate having you on the team. Good guy. I look forward to hearing from you. Simon's our next senior. I have a lot of respect for Simon. I think he was attending the Upper Arlington University this year. He was in 5 AP courses. I think, so he was taking 5 AP courses, which you guys probably all know by now what those are, but essentially that workload, I think, is ambitious for somebody who's not trying to do a demanding sport. Simon still, I mean, you know, I know this year didn't quite go the way he was hoping his senior year to go, but I know it never deterred him. He came to practice every day, gave his best every day. I think we saw Simon on the verge of breaking down a few days. But he would go, like the thing that impresses me and what I admire about Simon is that he will go to the end. He was willing to put the work in, he was willing to fight and compete every single day as hard as he possibly could. Even when everything around him and his environment was telling him that he probably had enough, he would still be out there and he would still be fighting. So I got tons of respect for Simon. I'm really excited to hear what his next few years ahead of him are going to be, and I'm sure he's going to have a very promising future coming. All right, then we got Ben. I think I heard Ben say about as much tonight as I have in 2 years of working with him, which is pretty phenomenal. Ben is a silent leader. Ben is one of those that I think he leads by example. His work ethic is extremely strong, and I think others can just see what he's doing and and they're able to emulate that. The things that stand out for me with Ben, his stroke, I kind of joke sometimes, and it's not derogatory, but I joke sometimes that we have two coxswains in the boat. Ben's our bow coxswain, and then we have a coxswain in the stern that actually steers. Ben's not necessarily a robust guy at 135 pounds, but he's one of the best boat movers that I've ever worked with. His ability to use his weight and leverage against the blade to actually move a boat is phenomenal. If I had the ability, I probably would have tried to build an entire lightweight program off of this guy. But unfortunately where we were this year, he's just contributing to our varsity 8. And that's the consolation. I'm sorry, I couldn't do anything more for you. But lots of respect for him as an athlete. Lots of respect for him as a captain and what he was able to take care of this year. So look forward to this weekend with you. And then we have Miles, and I don't think anybody would tell you that Miles is anything but the nicest person you've ever met in your entire life. When we did captain selection last year, we had, when I do the captains, and we'll announce captains here in a little bit, but when we do captains, I tell people, I'm like, I don't want you to pick your best friend, I don't want you to, it's not a popularity contest, this isn't a fastest erg contest. I said, I want you to pick somebody on the team that you respect, somebody that you admire, somebody that if they came to you and said, you know, I think there's more that you're just not giving us, like, who would you respect that from? Like, who would you listen to for that? And Miles actually, I'll say it now, Miles actually had the most votes. It was very competitive voting, but Miles ended up edging out this senior class with the most votes for the captain. And I think that speaks volumes for him. I think the relationship that he's able to have with the guys on the team and the way they perceive him, I think there's an incredible amount of respect, which is shared by your coaches. So thank you. And typically, we actually have the trophy out here and we've engraved the names. But apparently there were some missing keys, so we have to do this sort of conceptually. But we have this award called the Coaches Cup, and that's typically it's the award that we present to the athlete over the last 12 months that we feel has had one of the greatest impacts on the team. Typically this is a very hard award for us. Nothing we do is on an individual effort, but usually there's one or two people that, you know, over the course of the year that really sort of embraced what the goals of the team were and really helped drive that direction of the team. For the guys this year, and again, this is kind of going through, this also sort of culminates over the last couple of years of experience, but this year for the boys, it's Griffin Bertram. As we said, try not to restate too much, but Griffin's always the leader of the pack when it comes to the running, the exercises, great attitude. In terms of driving the performance of this group, even though Griffin's not necessarily at the top of the time sheets, he's very close. You'll work on that. But he definitely is a source of inspiration and motivation for his teammates. And I do appreciate all the hard work, especially over the last 2 years, for your contribution. So thank you.
All right, so this year I selected 2 athletes to receive the Coaches Cup, and it will be going to Felicity Gunn and Paige McNaughton. And again, not to repeat myself too much, but these 2 athletes, I've always been very impressed by you. I know this winter they both put in a ton of work. They both putting on very impressive 2K scores, putting up big PRs, both breaking 8 minutes. So if I was looking just at the athletics, that was huge to me. And then there's everything else. They, to me, are 2 of the best teammates you could ask for and 2 of the best leaders. They impress me every day with the hard work and the way they motivate and inspire others around them to put in that same level of work, and the way they're able to, I think, handle maybe some personal ups and downs and things maybe going differently than they expected and putting the team first always. And that shows to me a level of maturity and dedication to this team beyond their years. So thank you. I will now be announcing the captains for next season, and the 4 captains are Rose Salmon, Julia Boyer, Sydney Badgley, and Audrey Holman.
Okay, for the guys, our captains, and again, just, I don't know how it worked exactly on the girls' team, but these are voted by the peers. So everybody gets to vote for 3 captains, and we just tabulate the votes. We're going to actually go, based on the voting that came through, I'm going to go with 4 captains this year, because there were 4 people that kind of stood up from the rest of the group, which was a pretty wide cast of votes for captains. So if you guys could stand up when we call the names. I have John Duhigg, Sang Yoon, Gavin, and RC. All right, looking forward to you guys doing good things.